Right, I made this Broody Coop about 15 years ago. It has been great. So I thought it'd be a nice project was to make another one of these Broody Coops. Not quite as posh as this one. This one's made out of cedar. Just happened to be a job I was working at the time. I'm going to make it a little bit different. So there's a few things I don't like about this one. So I'll show you now. So one thing I don't like is this side opening door here. It seemed like a good idea at the time. It's made it hard to waterproof, the board on top there. But also, I think it'd be better from the back, so you can lift and you can check without having to kind of open. And especially if you've got some lively chicks in there, they can quite easily get away. And maybe a fraction bigger. Not a huge amount bigger, but just maybe. This is about 800. I think maybe another 4 inches, so 900 big might be about perfect for it. But the same length, this is 8 foot long to the ends of the handles. The handles work quite well, so you can lift it and move it about. Now, I really ummed and ahed about what timber to build this out of. I kind of wanted to plane up some of my Scandinavian redwood and use that and treat it and paint it maybe. But then I thought maybe I should use something that everyone else can use. So this is just your bog standard tannalised timber, 2x2. It's about £6 for 4.8 metres, or it was for me, including the VAT. All tannalised timber is a bit rubbish, I think it's got worse. Basically, the tannalising doesn't go in very far, and that's the problem. So what we will try and do is any exposed ends we've got, I will try and just slap a bit of something on them, whether that's oil or whether that's some kind of wood preservative I've got. So yeah, weight and durability are two things. Part of me thought, you know, it'd be nice to build out a sweet chestnut or something, but it's hardly what most people can get. And also, you know, that adds a lot of weight to something that you've got to move by hand, which is fine on a flat field, but if you've got somewhere awkward to get it to, or the kids need to help me move it, then it's going to be a bit harder. And it's heavy enough anyway when you've got some chickens in there and you've got the cladding on the one end. So I've gone for 2x2 to make up the basic framework, and a 4x2 across the top for a bit of extra strength. I did look at getting a 6x1, but the 6x1s in the builders merchants were really, really rough. You know, you wouldn't use them on a fence, that's how they looked. So I thought we'd go for a 4x2 across the top. And that kind of provides the majority of the structure and the rigidity. Obviously we're building a triangle, it's like the strongest shape we can build. And that's why these chicken arks are really quite good. And that's probably why that one's lasted so long. Draw myself another little plan, so the daughter can't say I don't make plans on what I make. So this is the other one. So it's 2.1, the main body of it, and then keeping the top bit 8 foot. So I'm going to cut up some pieces now, and I'm going to we'll make a little triangle and see how big we're going to go and see what our angles are. These are the angles using some sliding bevels off the other one. So that's the top angle down, bottom angle up. So you can see our triangle there. Because I know what the top angle is, I'm going to cut it by hand. It's a bit too steep for the miter saw, and it's a bit awkward with the big piece of the timber for the bandsaw. And actually, if you cut it, you know, you cut them once, then the reverse of that will do the other side, so you get 2 from each one. Now, I've said this before, and I'm good at repeating myself, but when you're marking up to do like a steep cut like this, or an angle cut, or anything by hand really, it's worth marking all the way around it. So I've marked both sides there. I'm now gonna stand in a weird way, because you need to use your foot to clamp it on your sawhorse. If you want to make one of these sawhorses, check out the link above. That's what you're meant to do on YouTube, isn't it? Right. And basically, to make sure you just eye down it and make sure you're kind of keeping the blade straight. If you start to find yourself drifting too much, lower the angle, can help keep you straighter on a line. There we go. And that's nice and square all the way across. And that's 2 of those cut. So let's just note that one off of the meter, and then we can lay ourselves out a triangle. So we know we're going to be coming down on the top edge, so we could go 900 to the cut, and then we can work out then what that's going to give us. Be a little bit bigger, yeah. So we go 900 to the cut, and this cut can be cut square. And with these cut, so this is like when you're doing a roof or something, you do like a pattern rafter. That's basically what this is. We'll cut this square now. They should both be the same, and then we just work out how many we want, and we'll cut them all the same as that. Now we'll use only one of these as a pattern. What you don't want to do is use one as a pattern and then keep passing it along and use the new one as the pattern each time that you're copying from. Because what you get is an accumulation of errors sometimes, and the first one could be this long and the last one can be longer because you keep adding the pencil width each time. So we'll just use the same one, so we'll mark it up. We used to call them Pat, so I'm going to call this one Pat for pattern. Well, at least I think that's what it's for. Right. We need to work out how many uprights we need on our chicken coop. So we're going to need two either ends, that's 4. Then we're going to need another 2 to make the sleeping compartment, that's 6. Then we're going to need 1, 2 by the door, that's 7. And we're going to need 1 to halfway it on the other side, so that's 8. How is it an even number? No, it's 9. Right, do that again. 9. We need 9 uprights. I think I've got it written down here. 9. So we want 9 uprights. Okay, so what we got here, got the layout, and I'm just gonna, joints tight at the top-ish, so I'm just gonna put my bevel on here now, and get this bottom cut. Yes, we've got this one cut. We will see if it fits. So we need 3 of those, because we're gonna need 1 for either side of the sleeping compartment, and then 1 on the far end to form the solid end of the thing. Got some very old wood preserver there, which is meant to be like the tannalising. So all the cut edges now, cut all the tannalised timber that we're going to use, and we're going to just treat the ends, just making a pot out of an old bottle, reuse, recycle, all that lot. So it can get reused and then it can get recycled. Let's have a look at the colour of this. Woo! Don't do that. Then we use a rubbish brush, and we're just going to treat all the ends. We're going to go run scouts now anyway, so it's perfect time to kind of finish this up, leave these to dry, and I can work with it tomorrow and not get wet hands.
Would you like me to light the fire inside or not?
No, you can set it ready to light.
Okay.
But you can put some clothes on to go to Beavers as well.
Yeah, I know.
All the pieces cut for the main kind of frame of it now. So what I'm going to do is just lie it out on its side and put in where the uprights are going to go. One side has got a few more than the other, but we can mark out our sleeping compartments as well, which I was going to do from outside to outside about 6.25. Then 1 on the end and divide it up. Do a slightly longer workbench, but work with what you've got. And I'm going to pilot, when it's on the ends, I've piloted just a, I don't know, what's that, 4.5mm bit through. So if we go 6.25 there, and I can go the outside. There shouldn't be any need to pilot the ones in the middle. It's a bit quicker. And stagger your fixings. So they're a little bit of different grain if you can. Otherwise, if I put them both in line, much more likely to split it open. These are some 80mm screws, should be plenty. How far am I gonna go? Now obviously we want this one to be the opposite of this one, so make sure, if I go there on top of this, so I've got these angle cuts going the one way, so on these ones they go the other, and so that I know when I've got the triangle, because what you don't want is two the same. It'd be a bit disappointing. So, what is essential is access into the chicken coop. So I want to give ourselves another upright here so that we can make a door into the run area as well as having a door into the sleeping area. Obviously it means we can feed them, but it also means you can catch any chickens should you need to. Width for my shoulders would be ideal. I've got some offcuts over here, so I can make it work for my offcuts that I took off the rest of these even better. I think we go about there. Doesn't really matter. 525. End. Okay, so we've got the two end ones on, and now we want everything equidistant. So 625, 625. Mark it up. Okay, I've just had a thought. And it's a good job I stopped myself before I went any further because this is the bottom piece, and if we look, it's not going to fit out the door. It might fit, I think it will fit on the angle actually. I think we might be better off to assemble this outside. Okay, I've decamped outside the workshop before I made an embarrassing mistake because it would be hard to come back from. I'm going to finish assembling this bit of a frame now, prop it up, screw it together. Very good with it. Okay, we've got the frame finished. The basic frame anyway. What we're going to do is we're going to put a piece in there so that we can have a door below. We're going to frame out here for a pop hole door. And on the back end I might just put in a central brace, maybe an upright, just to kind of firm it up a little bit, stop it twisting and things like that.